everybody. Welcome to the Steve and Nina Show. I've had a busy day. It's been a beautiful, wonderful day, but I am tired. So now I'm going to get supper started, and I thought that I would go ahead and just chit-chat with you guys while I did that. We have church tonight. I'll show you outside here in a minute because I thought you might be able to see out the window, but you can't. So I'll show you in a minute. But we're getting snow. Supposed to get, I guess, a few inches. And it's just now, it's been snowing pretty much all day. But the ground was so wet that it just it didn't accumulate. But just now I can see over at the neighbor's house, their car is getting a little bit of snow on it. So if I don't forget, I'll show you outside. But if I do forget, you guys have seen snow, right? So I think that I'm going to make some, I haven't had fried potatoes in probably close to a year. So I've been wanting some, and I told Steve to pick up some potatoes from the store, and that's what we're going to have for dinner. Fried potatoes and some soup beans. Now, instead of cooking all day, because I was so busy today, I think that I have a can of those Lux beans. Yeah. These are actually really good. If you guys haven't tried these, if it's just a couple of you and you don't want to, you can fix, we call them soup beans. Some people call them bean soup, whatever you guys prefer to call them. But you can make them in a pressure cooker, not a pressure canner, but a pressure cooker. And the dried beans, and it takes about a half hour, 40 minutes, something like that. But if you don't have the time, and then you don't want to cook them on the stove for all day, sometimes I just buy these little cans of Lux beans. And this one has the pinto beans in it. You can buy them with the white navy beans too. But it's just a lot quicker for me when I have days where I'm just tired and still have quite a bit to do. So that's what we'll do. Well, I better get some potatoes cut up first. So let me cut these up and I'll be right back. All right, I've got the potatoes all peeled, sliced. Must be running out of pepper. Well, if Steve wants more than that, he can put it in it. Right?
You using all my pepper?
No, there's still some in there. You can put some on it when they're done. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's having a good day.
You tell them we got some snow.
Yeah. Still coming down.
Can you get me that lid, honey? I know if it's under the
Where is it?
I'm not really sure because this is, of course, hanging up.
Maybe out in the
Okay.
laundry room on the shelf. I think.
Okay. I think those are going to stick a little bit. Probably should have fixed them in another one. I've got all those iron skillets and I need to start using them more like I used to. Thank you. Yeah, that one's got a little bit of rust on it.
Yeah, they need all greased
Seasoned
up
and yeah. Okay.
We never did use these two. Who sent us these? Rusty?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we do got to use those. Rusty sent us those little ones. Let me show here. And it's got a Pioneer Woman on the back. And they're very cute. We got two of them. I have been thinking of stuff like little tiny casseroles or something. I'm not sure. Baked potato maybe. I don't know. Yeah, you could do a little casserole in those.
They wouldn't be big enough to fill you up.
Oh my goodness. with other foods, a big salad.
I could eat both of them, and then you'd have to find something.
Be right back. I was telling Steve, I put the eggs in this little round thing here, and I cannot wait till spring, well, after spring, summer, I guess, because everything is so wet. I've complained and complained, but I'm tired of those eggs being so dirty. You know, you can leave them out on the counter for, you know, a month or more, and you can't wash them, because once you wash them, all that protective layer is off of them, and then you have to put them in the refrigerator. Well, we would just rather, of course, leave them out, have more room out than we do in the refrigerator. So we've got those 4 dozen. Those all need washed, so we'll have to get that done. I got the little iron skillet. I'm just going to make the beans in that. When you use iron skillets, some of the iron actually leaks into your food, which is good for you. So I like to do that, you know, when I think of it, when I can. And you hear Miss Willow, always a barking. Had someone ask me about the painting that we did on those ceramics yesterday. We'll get those next week. On Tuesday, they'll be ready. They only fire up, I guess, their ovens every so many days. So probably when they get a full load, there were, let me think, there were 1, 2, 3, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There were 6 people besides us that came and went, as Steve and I were there, since we were there for 2.5 hours. So yeah, they were quite busy yesterday. But I cannot wait. I can't wait to see it, because I don't know if you can tell in the video, but my flower pot actually is supposed to be purple with that yellow speckled inside. So yeah, I cannot wait to see how that looks. I wanted it for the living room, because, you know, the living room walls are a shade of like lilac lavender type of thing. And I don't have a flower pot that matches in there. So after I started thinking about it, they had a sign up where they had baked the pottery, and it showed you exactly what the color would look like with 1 coat, 2 coats, and 3 coats, which they recommend 3 coats on all of their paint. So, and it was kind of dark. So I'm hoping that it will at least match the trim, and some of the, like around the light switches is a darker purple, and around the little window on the door, stuff like that. So I'm hoping that it matches. If not, I'll find somewhere for it. And I needed more flower pots anyway, so I always liked purple and yellow together, even when I was really, really young. I actually had a pair of tennis shoes when I was probably in 7th or 8th grade that were purple and with yellow stripes on them. So I'll show you out the window here how the snow is starting to stick. It's so funny, because now it is like, let me get down here and see. It's real, you can tell probably by the road how very little that it's actually snowing now. But it's starting to stick. These are the beautiful flowers that Steve got me yesterday. So pretty. Oh, can't wait to look out and see the rose bush. I'm going to cut some of those off this spring. And the grass was looking green. Now it's all covered again. Hey, Will, looky. Say hi, everybody. Hi. You know how to... Come over here. Come here. Come here. It's okay. It's okay. Here's the... For anybody that's new watching my channel, Steve made this wall out of real barn siding. It's real, the stuff. And then I got the metal here and put that all up for me. And Rusty, here's where we hung both of the things that you got us. And then this way I have a spot. I've got my two of mine up there, the one I'm using here, and the other one I'm using that goes there. That helps so much instead of just having them, thrown in the bottom of a cabinet or something. And Steve was just telling me that the tornado siren was going off. And I said, buddy, I'd be hurting if I was by myself because I don't ever hear that thing. Oh, my ears are getting bad along with everything else. All right, I remember now what I was going to tell you guys. You know that my niece and her family are in Haiti as missionaries, and that my sister and her husband went to visit with them. Well, last night I got a phone call, and they had it on speaker, and they all sang happy birthday to me. And I am telling you guys, I don't know if it was the acoustics in that house, but it sounded like a choir. It was like a choir of angels. It was beautiful. I was like, man, I wish they would have done it so it would have been on my answering machine instead of, me hearing it, because it was so beautiful. I would have listened to it several times. But my sister's been telling me of some of the amazing things that they have been doing. They went to the ocean. They actually went over to a little island. You have to have a guide take you to that island in a little boat. And when you get there, they leave you there all day and come back at a certain time to pick you up. So it was just gorgeous. She sent pictures to me, and they went snorkeling, and I was like, oh my goodness, what about sharks? And they didn't even think about it. I would have been afraid. But just the views from that island, nobody is on it. It's just all an empty island. And it was just beautiful, just a beautiful vacation. My sister has trouble with being in really hot heat. And Haiti, as you guys know, it's hot there all the time. And right now, even though it's the cold season, it's still very, very warm. So my sister was like, oh, I prayed so hard that it would be comfortable for me while I'm there. And it was, and I'm so thankful for that, because she said it was in, the highest it got, I guess, was in the low 80s. And at night, it was actually comfortable with a fan going. And so they enjoyed it, had a beautiful time. And one of the oldest little boy, my great nephew, it was so sweet. He really thinks a lot of me. And he always would talk about, when they lived here, talk about fixing me food. And he loves to cook, and he wanted to fix me a special pizza that he has, and just, all this neat things that he always talked about. So he was saying yesterday that he can't wait to get back to the States, and the reason is he can't wait to have Taco Bell. I guess there's a new Taco Bell that was built somewhere. I don't know where. It might be in Pennsylvania where his mama lives. I don't know. But yeah, he couldn't wait. And I said, you know what? They'll probably end up getting so sick when they first come home for a visit, because they're used to eating very, very healthy over there. So they'll be home in around 6 months or so, and then they'll go back. And every year they get a week's furlough. So they've got like 4 years to go. And I don't know, they might sign up for longer. They are enjoying their time there, and the things that they're able to help people with. And so I just thought I would share some of those little stories with you. Oh, and then my niece took a picture of her oldest son. He was laying on the bed last night as he was talking to me. And she took a picture and sent it to me as we were talking to let me see how he was doing. And it was so sweet. So I told him by the time that they actually come home to live, he's going to be he'll probably be way taller than me. So, hi boys, if you're listening. And Steve just let me know that it's probably not called a furlough unless you're in prison, he said.
Or in the Army.
Or in the Army. So I guess a week's vacation is what they get every year. He's a brat. I wanted to show you, this is actually, the one that I'm using was actually bought as a chicken fryer pan. And this is how the lid is on the inside, with the little things that it makes the, when you cover it, the liquid falls back down on the chicken to make it moister. And it works really well with frying potatoes and stuff, because when you first fry them, you want to cover them so that the moisture stays in and they soften up. Like now, I'm trying to get them brown. And They are sticking a little bit, but a good thing with iron skillets, you can use metal and scratch it, and it doesn't hurt. Actually, it makes it better. So makes it more non-stick. So I'll wait till these get a little bit more brown. That's the way we like them, crispy on the outside. And then I've got the sweet beans here. I'm trying to cook some of the moisture out of these. I like it to be a little bit thick, the juice, instead of runny. I like it thick. Now I'm not making any meat today. I'm not cooking any bread, biscuits, nothing, cornbread, nothing. I'm just going to have buttered bread, and we'll eat this. And sometimes I just like very easy meals. Get a craving for something, and that's basically all that I've been wanting. And Steve doesn't want nothing else either today, so that's, I guess, because we ate so well yesterday. That's probably why. So okay, I gave Willow a little piece of my bread and butter, but this is my dinner tonight, and this is a small plate. That's why I like to use these sometimes, because then I can still have things that I love, but just, portion control. So everybody have a great night, and I'll hopefully see you tomorrow.